still,
Even
the
still,
word ignorant don't mean dumb. You know what I mean?
it does not.
Yes.
So
It does not.
Exactly.
and
Right.
with Shannon Sharp being a grown man like that, and you know what I mean, he should have known right away. You know,
Yeah.
in the context of what they were speaking about.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes Shannon Sharp will like even with Joe Johnson or his show, Shannon Sharp will overtalk Joe Johnson about basketball, and that's Joe Johnson wheelhouse.
Right.
You know, like come on now, that you know you can't. But he got a heavy mic, and he like to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, but yeah, this kid Shakur Stevenson took him. You know, he took him to the woodshed. You know, he took him to the woodshed. Hey, I was gonna ask y'all if y'all mind, if to try something new, if we get enough, you know, enough participation. I was gonna try to take a 1 or 2 phone calls if that was cool with y'all.
Shit, this your show, bro.
I mean, you know, I don't want to, you know, we got
your
limited
show.
amount of time.
I got thick skin, so if they come in hard on me, I'm okay.
No, I mean not to go at none of us, but to like you know.
Oh, they will.
But, yeah.
I say stupid shit all the time, so they're gonna come at me.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I know I do, but
yeah.
So look, right?
So you gonna put a phone number up?
Yeah. I got
that's
the phone
great.
number. Yeah,
you expanding the game, ain't you?
Yeah. I just never tried it, right?
I think that's a good. Good wrinkle to put in.
Yeah, I just never tried.
People engaged. You know, some people be on the road, they're driving, they can't really text, so they can call into the show while they while they riding around, things like that. No, I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I would like to hear Tom's voice.
Yeah. Tom.
I wonder what he sound like.
Yeah. A couple people, if I can get Tom on here, and you know, and some people that, especially some people that have been following us for a minute, you know, just a few people that have been following us for a minute.
And that dude Hammers, he's very on point. He got it. He got it up here.
Yeah. So we got a few things y'all came up with, and some things, you know what I mean, I think we could touch on real quick.
Tom, you was thinking the same thing I was thinking, Tom. That goddamn summer league, boy, them draft picks. But anyway.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But look, I want to talk about this real quick, because this is something that I've been thinking about for a while, right? And you know, with LeBron James, you know what I mean. What they start? He first came into everybody's attention like when he was a teenager, right? And I think the LeBron James whole thing, it was mapped out. I think that you know, maybe the powers that be was looking for somebody to eventually replace Michael Jordan, right? And if you think about the history, like Michael Jordan's road to everything about Michael Jordan, like that's a tall order. Kobe tried, you know what I mean? Kobe, you know, wanted to be like Mike and approach it, but he really couldn't. Kobe really couldn't mention, you know, measure up to what Mike was as far as like how the people reacted to Mike. And I'm gonna use even though Kobe, that Black Mamba persona is very big, right? I mean, you know, that like people love the Black Mamba. But even Mike Jordan, man, you know, it just surpasses that, right? And so if, you know, you bringing in LeBron James and you want him, you know, like if you Nike and you the NBA and you sponsors and stuff, you want somebody to be able to pass that torch on from Mike to now, you know, Kobe couldn't really get it, but now LeBron James. I just thought that in my opinion was an impossible mission, number one. And then number two, I think that the way that they, the people who marketed was behind marketing LeBron James made some fatal mistakes. And one big mistake I think they allow LeBron to make is he is a polarizing figure as opposed to being a beloved figure, right? And I think it's a difference. I think if like at one point in time, LeBron James took on a villain role in the NBA when he went to Miami and he got some pushback. He was more so the villain, and I thought at that time the people who were managing LeBron James should have started to rebuild his image and make LeBron James more of a lovable person, almost like the boy next door, like you know what I mean. So because that's in the long run, that's where the market is, and that's how you capture and control the base. What y'all think about that so far?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a failure. Like I don't see it like that. Like you know, LeBron to me, he went a different route than Mike a little bit. I don't think it was just to really be exactly like Mike, because you know he went the activist route. You know what I'm saying? And with the activist route, he was beloved for that. You know, especially you dealing in urban community, the Black community, stuff like that. So, and to say it was a failure, I mean, they made a lot of money off LeBron. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, he got a lot of fame. I just can't see the marketing being a failure because it was so successful. If that makes sense, I don't know. If what I'm saying makes sense.
My pushback and my retort to that is, as long as LeBron James is in the league, like now, like when you post a video or your topic heading is LeBron James, you get a lot of attention on that. That's for everybody across the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Jordan hadn't been in the league since 2002, and so the minute that they mentioned Michael Jordan, as far as when they said NBC, we're gonna bring Michael Jordan back, so Michael Jordan can, people thought base, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because LeBron James has a fractured fan base. I don't think that LeBron James has that type of fan base that like whereas though after he leaves the game, he's gonna have that effect. he's like I said, he's polarizing now. You know what I mean? People debating, it's almost like good versus evil, but when he's out of that light, he's out of that spotlight.
But who is that important to? Nike, right? I don't think it's necessarily important to LeBron. I think that's important for Nike to still use him as a cash cow the way Nike has done Michael Jordan.
Right.
I don't, LeBron, I don't think he care about that part of it. Not, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think once he retire, he's just going to go away as far as the fans, as far as the podcast, as far as the media. I don't think he's just going to go away. I think just like now, people are still want to invoke his name when it comes up to certain things and stuff like that. But I wouldn't. I'm with Brother Clayton on that. I wouldn't say it's a failure. It's just different.
It's different.
I wouldn't say it's a failure.
Isn't he kind of a? Yeah, I was just gonna say, isn't he kind of a product though of the different generation, right? Because it's different from when Mike was playing and when Kobe was playing. The culture that LeBron has lived through, which explains going to Miami, is chasing the rings, right? So we can try to compare and say, hey, Mike did it this way, and LeBron, people think negatively of him because of the era that he went through. But I mean, in hindsight, I think he's like Clayton and Tucker are saying. Yeah, he's not worried about what I think of him, for sure.
Well, this is the thing. When your fan base gives you leverage moving on, and think about it like this. And when people used to say, "Oh, Michael Jackson is broke," Michael Jackson having financial issues, right? Michael Jackson was so beloved by his fan base that, again, as soon as Michael Jackson said, "I'm going to go on tour," I'm going to, you know what I mean? So Michael Jackson, your fan base, number one, you're never broke financially. Then on top of that, your fan base is what carries your legacy on, right?
Yeah.
You have kids today that are wearing Jordans that never even seen Michael Jordan. They never even seen Michael Jordan play, but they hear from generations before them about the impact that Michael Jordan had on basketball and on culture, during his time, right? So they feel that impact and they get that impact from previous generations, right?
Yeah.
So your fan base, if you take your fan base, that gives you leverage at all times, and also it allows you not to be as much controlled by the powers that be, because it almost gives you a certain amount of independence when you have that type of influence in your fan base.
100%.
Well, LeBron has that. LeBron's fan base isn't fractured as you speak of. Just because he played for different teams, he doesn't have a fractured fan base. That fan base follows him from team to team.
Yeah.
And as far as Michael Jordan being the standard, Mike is one of one. That's not the only thing that defines success. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he retired and his shoes still stuck. That's an anomaly. That's one of one.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron is going to still have the same impact when he leaves the sport. And it's like you said, he's polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the greatest asset to have when you're trying to market a brand. It's something that's polarizing, because it's going to always bring attention. It's going to always fuel some kind of debate. It's going to fuel emotion out of people. And that's the main thing when you're trying to move something, move product and stuff like that. You want to appeal to people's emotions. LeBron does that. And also, it's a win for everybody that he's in business with. Not just Nike, the television networks, like whoever he's in business with, him being polarizing is a win for them. So I think mission was accomplished.
And I want to say this, right? Just say, I think LeBron, he prides himself being more than just a basketball player. I think, if you understand, I think it's a lot of other things that he takes pride in, and he's motivated by not just basketball. Nike plays a significant part in keeping Michael Jordan names relevant and things like that. As you said, Mike, you got people wearing the shoes, haven't even seen him, play ball. But Nike is the driving force behind that. Nike releases the same shoe every other Tuesday. You understand? So these people who never seen them, so they can grab them. It's like a fashion thing now, almost like with the Yankee cap. It's like a fashion. You understand? To get Jordans now. Not even people who not necessarily a fan of them. You know what I'm saying? They just know, I gotta get these Jordans. So Nike is behind all of that. I believe that Nike's behind that.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
that's the truth. But let me see, like, the difference between being polarizing and captivating a generation like Michael Jordan did, right? Say, like, because I think it's a shorter shelf life for businesses. You don't hear like take for instance Walmart, or what's the other business, or Target. They want to maintain a certain image with the public because they want to stay in the public's good graces. Most big businesses are not polarizing. You can be polarizing for, I think polarizing is a shorter life shelf, than somebody who has a wholesome type image. Like Walmart is a family store with low prices. That's their thing, right? That's why stores and businesses want to stay. They want to keep a good, they want to be seen in a good light as far as, their image and their product and their service. I think it's a difference.
Yeah, it is a difference with business. Like when you talk about these stores, they're appealing to the shopper, they're appealing to the stay-at-home mom, the consumer, and stuff like that. So you do want to have a feel-good kind of vibe. But when you talk about celebrity, it's different.
Yeah.
And being a polarizing figure as a celebrity, that does have a long shelf life.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of like somebody who's all right, like Dennis Rodman. I would say like he's polarizing, but again, Dennis Rodman being polarizing to me don't really have the type of impact as somebody like a Michael Jordan. I
think you can come up with a name though that does fit that mold. Look at Muhammad Ali. that man is the greatest, will always be the greatest in my mind. And at the time, he upset the
status quo.
establishment, the status quo. White Americans, he confused white Americans. He did not toe the line during that Jim Crow era, and he was a villain in over 50% of Americans' eyes, and yet we can look back and say, no, that guy's the greatest.
Mike Tyson is another one.
Yeah.
Very polarizing, and Mike Tyson's brand is still relevant today, and it's still lasting today.
Yeah. Again, I mean, that's that. And then when we talk about, like those two,
and another thing, let me jump in real fast, Mike, if you don't mind. Another thing about this good, clean, and wholesome image that a lot of people had of Michael Jordan, I think it changed a little bit over time, but that good, clean, and wholesome image was something that was shaped by the people he was in business with, like Nike, like Coca-Cola, like Gatorade, and even David Stern and the NBA itself. So, they put him up there as the being, want to be like Mike and all this type of things like that. I don't think it's hard. It's very, very hard to do now in this age of social media and the camera phones and things. It's hard to paint that picture, you know what I'm saying? Of, like you said earlier, Mike, the guy next door, and, everything is perfect.
Yeah.
You understand? That's just hard to create at this age.
Yeah.
And actually, the era we in, being more human is more palatable now. It's like they ain't even looking for a squeaky clean image anymore, because of the era that we in now.
Yeah. I think LeBron James, being a married man, the father of 3 kids, I think he did a very good job of keeping his off-court image. He's pretty much clean. So I think
he's a better role model as a human than Michael Jordan.
Right.
And just to what Tunk is talking about, man. If Michael Jordan had the scandals exposed that we can look back and say, he had a lot of gambling problems and it just whatever, right? Yeah, I think it's different. I think I personally can look at LeBron and say, that guy did it a little bit better than Michael Jordan as a person.
Right. That's what I'm about to say. Just as a person. Yeah, just as a person.
Just as a father and a husband.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what my man
to the people he was in business with, to make sure a lot of them things stayed covered as long as they could. Because man, I'm a down that hill that he was suspended. It wasn't retirement. I'm a down that hill. So I think it's a lot of people that he was in business with to keep that image. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Squeaky clean as long as they did, as long as they could. You know what I'm saying? I think they get a lot of credit for that.
Yeah. Let me read. My man Hammer said, remember when Jordan said Republicans buy sneakers too? And see, Jordan took a lot of flack for that. When he said that Republicans buy sneakers too, they went and immediately tried to, after that, they focused on cleaning up his image and stuff, because he did take a lot of flack for that statement when he said, Republicans.
I don't think I'm catching a lot of heat for that, Mike.
No,
No. I'm not saying he didn't. I just don't remember him catching a lot of heat.
Yeah. I thought Jordan caught some heat for that.
No, the only heat he took for that is from Black Democrats.
Right.
But he stayed neutral, and that's why he stayed so palatable to the masses, because he didn't pick a side. He was pretty much saying, I stay out of politics. And he made this statement. He said, everybody can't be Muhammad Ali. That's not who I am. So that's what kind of kept him neutral.
Right. And the same with LeBron. Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. You understand? Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Yeah, but go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that the fact that he wouldn't, that's what pissed people off, the fact that he would not take a stance.
Some people, but not the overall masses of the country.
But that was the style, though, of athletes of that era, right? What was Charles Barkley?
I'm not a role model.
I'm not a role model. It's and then that evolved into some of the talking heads of today that say things that still want to be the, hey, just shut up and dribble kind of mentality, right?
Yeah.
Right, right, Jen. You're absolutely right. And see,
Yeah.
a lot of people, the generation, the price that Ali paid for taking a stand, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like going through with the draft, and he was banned for those 3 years. You know what I'm saying? He was banned, and I think that was prime Ali. You know what I'm saying? I really think that was prime Ali years, the years that he was banned. You know what I'm saying? And we came back and we got a great version of him, but I don't think that was Ali at his best. I think he was sidelined. You know what I'm saying? So his best
He
years.
had some luck when he came back.
Right, because from
And I
67.
tell you what, when he did that, history proved him right. So then he became beloved for doing that.
Yes.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Cleveland. When the country starts shifting and things like
Yep.
that, and you know what I'm saying, they be looking at that war like, no, we shouldn't be over there.
Shouldn't have been over there.
You're right. That's when people start going on the other side. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all if y'all agree with this. At Jay says you can't use Dennis Rodman as a comparison. Dennis not close to the player that Bron is, right?
I agree.
So yeah, I mean, like, all right. So I was using Dennis Rodman as an example of somebody who is polarized, right? And his reach as a person or a player that's polarized, and not as his ability, like comparing his ability to Michael Jordan's ability.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true. You wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
But him being polarized and stuff like that, Dennis Rodman's brand never was that big. It wasn't big as LeBron. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I chose to go with Mike Tyson as a person.
No, that's an excellent point. As far as social status and things like that, Dennis Rodman come close to. Yeah.
And Hammer say MJ was a habitual cheater and a degenerate gambler. His game made up for all those flaws, left everything on the court. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And see, that's like when y'all spoke earlier about he had flaws, and like y'all mentioned earlier, with this generation, everything being so much more out in the open, so much more demand for media, for content, that people digging further into and exposing more into your personal life than ever, because that demand is there.
Right. And they
it's
have
not as
the
much
ability
outrage.
to do it. I think it's easier to do it now. Like I say, with all these camera phones and all these cameras everywhere, Big Brother's eyes everywhere. It's a lot harder to keep things under wraps than it was at one time or another.
Yeah. And you have people that are willing to, like, people get close to you just so they can, they can sell you out and expose you so they can get their 15 minutes of fame. So it's, it's dog eat dog out there.
Or get to a bag.
Right. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
Crazy. The motivation was the cozy up to certain superstar athletes, so you could be in, so you wouldn't be ostracized or put out, or you wouldn't be granted certain interviews, you wouldn't be granted access to particular players. So if something that the news media might know, sports media might know, they wouldn't necessarily report, because I want to still have access to this particular athlete. So I'm not going to report it and get on his bad side, then I get shut down and shut out. You know what I'm saying? So they was playing things close to the vest, even if they knew, they really wouldn't report
it. Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's how the media used to be. Certain people in the media, like, but now, because there's so much competitiveness, like, they were like, if you have something exclusive, some type of information, or inside track, then the people are more willing to expose that now, because it's money in it. Everybody with a camera now is paparazzi.
And they want to be the first to break it. They want to be the first to report it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody is paparazzi. So what do y'all think about this? My man Hammer said we saw MJ progress. Wasn't like he was solely relying on natural born athleticism. We could see the work in him. And I think the passion that he brought to the game, I think, along with the way they promoted him, I think all that stuff, it was like a perfect storm. The promotion from Nike, Gatorade, and then you see the passion Mike put out there, for the dedication, all that stuff just encompassed and it just blew up. I think that right there probably will never be duplicated. You know,
I don't think
perfect storm.
the statement he said there is true, but I don't think that's what the topic is. I don't think.
Right. No. Yeah, you're
I
right.
don't think that. Yeah, he's a little off topic with that, saying how he progressed as a player. That's not basically what what we're speaking on right now. But even though it's a true statement, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I just thought that it kind of feeds into, because I think that plays a part into like being beloved, like how much from a nostalgic when people see Michael Jordan, you know, like from a nostalgic point of view, that how much he is beloved as a player.
But you know what? Speaking of nostalgia, it's like the dude Jay-Z just had a concert.
Yep.
And people tend to overlook a lot of, controversy, surrounding him. Because of nostalgia thing, and Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z 60 or something like that. So most guys our age falls into that fan base of, a Jay-Z fan and things like that, whereas though maybe the younger generation not so much.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: when we talk about Jay-Z, like, did Jay-Z have a big enough impact on our life, whereas though we telling the kids who came behind us, like as far as his legacy, you know what I mean? Like,
not me.
Yeah, not me either.
Yeah, not
I'm
me.
not. I'm not like.
Right.
I wasn't pushing Jay-Z, like, you know what I mean? Like, when I talk about Mike, it's different. Or even if you talk about Michael Jackson, or if we talk about, like y'all said, like Muhammad Ali, right. It's a different type of energy when we talk about somebody like that. You know what I mean? And their impact. And then the younger generation can feel that from us, and they be like, oh, okay, this he must have been the real deal. You talk about Muhammad Ali, oh, okay, he was the real deal.
Right. That's right.
And I don't know the last time, Muhammad Ali been dead for years.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember like when his last fight was before that. You know what I mean? So, but still his impact.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps your legacy alive. You know what I mean? Like your fan base.
Yeah. I think Trevor Burbick was his last fight.
It was.
Okay.
Right? Yep. But I couldn't tell you the year, Jim. Do you know what year that was?
1984, 1985.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember that because that was when Tyson beat Burbick. The topic was he's the man that beat the man.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and all right, let me see. I see nothing but players posting all their business all day long. They only want the good that comes with these things. They don't want the downside. That's not how this works, right? And so remember, when like when we was coming up, our parents tell us, do not put your business in the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's uncouth and it's not wise. But yeah, like the guy in the chat just said, the person in the chat just said,
yeah,
they want to put everything out there when a lot of times this stuff will come back to bite you. You know what I mean? Like you put everything out there. It's just like telling, like certain things you got to keep close to the vest.
Yeah.
Not just even before social media came, like you didn't share everything with your friends. Certain things, certain person that went on in your house.
But even when we were teenagers, though, right? We went to parties, we did stupid stuff, but there weren't cameras, there was no recordings.
Right.
And there was, that stuff just stayed the way it was.
Well, Jim, one thing that was there was word of mouth. So when we did stupid shit, it did spread. It just didn't spread globally.
Right. Yes.
But it definitely spread.
Oh, yeah.
Always got a knack to gossip and talk and stuff like that. So to me, that's all social media is. Social media is a microcosm of that. But it's just on a bigger scale.
Yes. And it's forever and it's permanent.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, like you said, it's bigger and it is a microcosm. But the lessons that we learned as kids, I think, will have saved these kids today from stuff like that. You know what I mean? So those old lessons still hold true today, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's what I was thinking about when it comes to LeBron James. I just think that it was a tall order for like if Nike was thinking of trying to put him in a place to replace Michael Jordan. That whole perfect storm, like I said earlier, I just think it was just a tall order.
But Nike doesn't care as much about that as they care about the money, and it's just a machine. It's just a machine.
And I think, Mike, maybe they was looking at LeBron early on in his career and replacing Michael Jordan, being a front man and whatnot. But I think after they saw that they could, keep putting out the same product and people would still go crazy over it and stand in lines and things like that, they say, oh, we don't necessarily need LeBron to replace Mike. We could just keep recycling, Michael Jordan over and over again, and we'll still get paid. I think maybe early on, like you said earlier when we first started the show, when he was like they were setting him up to come in and kind of like replace Mike. But then they found out, like, hey, man, we don't have to replace Mike. We can insert LeBron in and let him have his lane, and Mike still has a lane where he can bring us a whole lot of revenue. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where they are now. Like Jim just said, they fine with it as long as they pocket. If they pockets keep swelling up, they good with
it. Yeah. So, but if you look at it like that, is like how much value does LeBron have with Nike then?
A lot. He has a lot. He just has his own lane. He still has a lot of value. He still has a lot. Yeah.
He signed that $1 billion lifetime contract.
Right. And they're not giving them that if they're not making, 5 times, 10 times as much off of them. So, So he has, he has a lot of value to him. I mean, you can look at it it's just like when Tiger Woods was with Nike. Tiger Woods had value, added value to Nike with his brand, with his personal brand, things like that.
And with all the scandal that Tiger went through, Nike did not drop him.
No.
Right. That's right.
Not at all. Yeah, but everybody else did, but Nike didn't.
Other people dropped him too, though. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Cadillac.
After that scandal, yes.
Yeah.
Cadillac dropped him like a hot potato.
Wait, yes. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let me see. He says Mike and LeBron are corporate characters. They are so similar, manufacture heroes to sell products to people that believe the stories, right? While everyone fights a childish civil war about who's the GOAT. And see, that's the whole point of this conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in our way, I just think that it was not about the GOAT debate. I think it was about money the whole time. As far as setting somebody up who can be a almost like, definitely like a pitch man for the sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
A pitch man.
But like Jim just said, Nike wins in the end.
Either way, no matter.
Michael Jordan loyalists, I'm only gonna buy Michael Jordan stuff. I ain't gonna buy LeBron. You got the flip side of it. I believe LeBron is the GOAT, so I ain't gonna buy none of Michael Jordan stuff. And a whole while, Nike is the one. That benefits. You know what I'm saying?
Who else benefits?
The house always wins. I was just gonna say the house always wins.
Who else always wins is the media and the NBA and stuff, because as long as this debate is alive, they got great content. They're getting views and everything in the media is based on impressions. So the more impressions you get, the more sponsorship money coming in. They win it. They eating off this.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Nike is driving it. I wouldn't be surprised if Nike's behind it driving this GOAT debate.
I think the NBA, Nike, I think the media, because there's too much money in it to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Anytime,
right.
Even like I said, if you post a video and it's something about LeBron James, you're going to get more views off of that video than you would a video about, like anybody else. And even though Steph Curry is a great basketball player, he's not going to get you the kind of views that LeBron James.
He don't move the needle like that.
No, right, exactly.
And I'm starting to reevaluate LeBron coming out saying after they beat the Golden State that made me the greatest of all time. I'm starting to reevaluate that statement. I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the lean in. You know what I'm saying? Something coming out of a think tank for him to make that proclamation to keep the whole fighter going. You know.
Oh yeah, it was all manufactured. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, Blake. You know what I'm saying? No, nothing was surprised. Nothing was surprised.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it was ego that made LeBron James say that. I think it was manufactured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was a strategic move that made LeBron James come out and say that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I guess it reads better though, or people feel better about it, or maybe they don't go as deep as to say. They might say, "All right, yeah, that was his ego that made him, you know, he want to be bigger than Mike." But I think it was strategic.
Yeah.
You know, because Mike never fed into it. Kobe never fed into it. You know, because they never felt the necessity to do so, whether they felt like that personally in their private life or not. You know, that they was the best. They never stated it publicly.
And I remember Mike even saying one time, man, you know, if he play a lot of guys one-on-one, he think he'd beat them. He said he just wish he had the opportunity to play against all them guys. You know what I'm saying? He mentioned Jerry West. He mentioned Big O. You know, a lot of guards, you know what I'm saying, that were great, that came before him. You know what I'm saying? He said, you know what I'm saying, I wish I had that. He said, I think I would beat them all. He said, except Kobe, because Kobe stole all my moves. He said, but I would like to. He said Dwayne. He mentioned Dwayne too, and he said I think I would beat all them guys. He said, but it's just you know, man, I didn't have a chance to play against them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what when you get into that, and that's why we always talk about errors, different errors and stuff, man. And you never know, but guys that are competitive, they wish they could compete against, you know, the players that came before him, and just see how they would match up. You know what I mean? Your skills and my skills. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just a natural competitive type thing, you know.
Yeah. Let me say this, right? So looking at all right, first let me read what my man Hammond says, right? Because Hammond said that GOAT debate between MJ and LeBron wasn't even organic. Before that manufactured debate, it was between MJ and Kobe. LeBron wasn't even mentioned amongst the GOATs, and that's true, right?
It's true.
He's younger than them, though. He's younger than them, so he wasn't mentioned when Mike and Kobe was. You know what I mean? He's younger than them. He didn't came. LeBron didn't even come till Mike was retired.
Right.
So he wasn't mentioned. You know what I'm saying? During that time.
But I mean, he making a great point though. It's not original. It started with Kobe and Mike. You know, and even before that, they was trying to ask Mike, was he better than Wilt, or was he? So it's not an original thing. But go ahead, Mike.
So go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tom.
No, I was saying so by not being an original debate, like it was other players mentioned before LeBron. That's saying I don't get like the point of it. So you know what I mean? Like he wasn't mentioned before. That's like almost saying Barry Sanders wasn't mentioned as the greatest running back when it was Walter Payton and Jim Brown. Well, he came after them, so he wasn't in the debate yet because he hadn't proven himself on that level yet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think Ham is making that statement as a knock to LeBron. He's not saying that. He's just saying the whole concept of the GOAT debate. It's not an original thing. That's all.
Right.
Got it.
And so, all right. So when we talk about script, right? So you have great scripts and you have great actors, right? Now, all right. So when you talk about Magic and Bird, that script was you know what I mean? You had East Coast, West Coast. You had black versus white. Then you had, you know what I mean? You had two different polarizing styles of playing basketball.
Big city, small city, a
lot. That script right there for basketball was great. Then you had two great actors. You had Magic, who was a baller. Then you had Bird, who was a baller. So you had a great script and you had two great actors, right?
Right.
Then I think when you bring those two together, the great script and the great actor, that's good for basketball. That's good for the sport, right? And then like the script with Mike, Mike had to get past Isaiah Thomas and the Bad Boys, so that was like a good versus evil, right? Because Bad Boys took on that persona of the villain, and people like to see, you know, in our culture, we want to see the good guy win, right? And so that was good for that era, right? In my opinion. So how would you explain, like, what was this? Was the script for the LeBron James era good, and was LeBron James a good actor? Like, what was the script for LeBron James?
The script changed, Mike. It stopped.
Yeah, I mean, but it was different for each player.
But no, I'm saying it stopped being about teams and started being about individual players.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You mentioned Lakers, Celtics. You mentioned Chicago and Detroit. That were the teams. Now you had the stars of those teams. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Being Isaiah, Magic, Bird, and Mike. You know what I'm saying? You had the stars of those teams, but it was like the team. I think as we move forward, you know what I'm saying? And even with the Lakers with Diesel and Kobe, it was still team. They was just, the stars of the team. San Antonio, it was team. When it came into like the LeBron, it started being more individualized. It started being more so about the player than the team. And I think that's how the script changed.
Yeah, the whole institution changed too, right? How the contract structures changed. You got your max contracts, and you had the culture of the whole culture of chasing championships, and I mean the whole thing changed.
So the stories write themselves, Mike. The script come out of what's happening sometimes, and then when they see what's happening, they embellish on it. Mm-hmm. But the one thing about all the stories, all the scripts, and everything like that, everything is designed to bring emotion out of the consumer. And once the consumer starts showing emotion, you got them hooked. And now you just, that's how you sell product, get viewers. It's all about emotion. That's what it's all about, emotion. All right, so if LeBron became a villain, that's good too, because it triggers emotion. People want to see him lose, but he still had his fans that loved him, and they idolized him. They were endeared to him. So he had both. LeBron had both things going. You know what I'm saying? Which most all celebrities do have that thing going. You ain't gonna have everybody that love you, and you're gonna have some people that despise you. So, but it's all about emotion, man.
That's kind of what this person in the chat right here says. Scripts, the script change for LeBron at each team, right? Change more stories to sell. Mm-hmm. This is the reason the media refused to say no and move on from Clutch and LeBron. 3 decades long gravy train. So,
well, long as LeBron's still active, you know what I mean, Clutch is going to still be relevant to that degree. As long as LeBron is still playing and he's still relevant, things like that. When David Falk, we don't go back to that super agent back in the day, David Falk, that had all the Georgetown players. He had Mike Jordan. He had a lot of the big stars.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah. And David Stern blamed him for that lockout in '99. David Stern blamed him for that. He said he had a lot of them guys, a lot of high-profile guys. He had too much control. That's when David Stern started coming up with this concept of maximum contracts. He tried to move the middleman out of there. Like, you don't need him if this is the max contract you can sign for. You don't need an agent no more. That was David Stern deliberately trying to undercut the value and the importance of the sports agent. Now, I'm sure a lot of players and a lot of teams, front offices didn't like David Falk, right? I'm sure. But you never heard that. You never heard that mentioned. Now, David Stern, I mean, he's the commissioner. He can say it. Ain't no one is above him. But the teams didn't want to come out because they didn't want to be X'd out as far as maybe signing one of his clients. And they didn't want to get X'd out, and you know what I'm saying, and falling bad gracious with him. Now, Clutch Sports has that type of control. But it's because of LeBron and the weight that he still has with the NBA. So people are still cozying up to Clutch Sports to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? They don't really want to come out and say nothing too bad about him because they want to still be on the end when he got a client that's a free agent and want to pick a team to sign. So I think that's a parallel example with that.
Right. That's an important point.
I like to see Clutch Sports roster. I would like to see all the people they represent. And are they getting new stars? Because I think if once LeBron leave, if they still getting new stars and big names, they can still have a foothold on the game.
Right. And I was going to say the exact same thing.
No,
I was going to ask y'all.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I know that the guy Rich Paul said already that agents are coming they trying to come in and undercut them and and they did the same. It's competitive, so they're gonna come in just like any other recruiter and say that point out some what they think are flaws or chinks in the armor, right? And what Clayton says is very important. They need like Clutch in order for them to go into the next generation. They need to be able to get new, fresh stars in there that will continue their leverage. On LeBron.
Does anybody know that they do that like in this upcoming draft that they just had? Not upcoming.
Yeah, I thought about looking that up. I didn't look it up. I know
Clutch Sports represent any of them guys.
Right. Don't know.
And see, that's the thing. I think a lot of times those sports agents only last for one generation. You know what I mean? Especially because you're not gonna get a Michael Jordan every generation. Say if the guy Folk had got Kobe Bryant after that. You know what I mean? Then
that's why Mike, the relationship with them Folk was tied to John Thompson. So John Thompson sent his guys to him. He sent Lonzo to him. He sent Dikembe to him. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Ewing was represented by him. AI was represented by him. So
Folk was tied to North Carolina too, right? He was tied to North Carolina and Duke, I thought.
I don't know
how many players in North Carolina, but yeah, he probably was. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I just don't know.
I remember.
Clutch,
I heard something about
Clutch
that.
Sports represents Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
And it's new too. Clayton is new. It ain't an old veteran. It's a new guy.
Yeah. This dude just broke the record, summer league record.
35 points.
For most points scored in a debut. This boy's every level. That's a big one.
Yeah,
that is a big one.
I think he is 7 or 8 3-pointers, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he hitting contested threes off the dribble, logo. That's a big one.
If he wouldn't have got hurt, my man would still have his job down in Carolina. What's my man's name? That was their coach, man. Oh man, help me out, gentlemen. Help me out.
You talking about
Hubert Davis?
Yeah. If he wouldn't have got hurt, Hubert Davis still had his job.
And watching this kid, he got flashes of Mike. If you watch the way he played with the ball, his athleticism, the way he finishes stuff, he got flashes, just small flashes of that.
Oh, okay.
Woo. It's gonna be something. That's a good one for Clutch.
Yeah.
And I say this, man, if these kids keep playing like they're playing in the summer league, this rookie of the year race, it ain't gonna be no bona fide. It ain't no bona fide one right now.
Yeah,
they gonna battle it out for that.
Yeah, because I like the kid. What's his name? Darren. What's his last name? Darren. What's his name?
Peterson.
He looking good.
But he's still a little rough around the edges. He's got to clean up the turnovers.
They all are, Jim, because the man, he had a good debut, but he turned the ball over like six times.
The boy for the Wizards.
Yeah. He turned.
Did you see when they went head to head though?
Yeah.
ADJ.
Yeah, Dabasa. What's the name? Dabasa or something?
Yeah.
AJ Dabasa or something like that.
Yeah, man, he looked good too. Only thing, his three wasn't falling. I'm not gonna say he don't have an outside shot, but his three wasn't falling. But I don't know, man.
If I remember correctly, he scored 27 and Peterson scored 24.
24. Yep. So I watched that.
Who y'all most impressed with in the summer league then?
I gotta say the Chicago boy right now.
I ain't seen everybody, but I'm surprised. I like the Boozer kid, man.
Boozer ain't look bad. Yeah, he ain't look bad.
I like him, man. I mean, he's fishing. You know, he's fishing. I like that. Yeah. He gets the ball in the spot and he goes. Not a lot of flash. I'm just gonna get this bucket. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Yeah, he ain't look bad at all.
I mean, he ain't the guy, so. Yeah, he's a perimeter guy. But yeah, I want all of them to do well, man.
All of them going. I think all of them will do well. Yeah.
I tell you what, the way this last season shook out, and the way we're looking at things going for this next season with all the moves and the East really coming up, man, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about where the NBA is going.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't said that in a long time.
Where A-Cup go? Where he go?
Who?
Sacramento, they got A-Cup.
I don't know.
Where did he
He
go?
went to Sacramento.
I forgot. But A-Cup looked good. I forgot who he played for, though.
I think he went to Sacramento. I think they drafted him number 7. I think they drafted him number 7. I think he went to Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, A-Cup looked good. A lot of these young guys look good, man. But this looked like it was a strong draft class.
Yeah.
That's
strong.
He's in. It's A-Cup's in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I like the way AJ DeBasa passed the ball. He passes the ball well too. He see the floor real well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. Yeah. So I'm gonna do something a little different, like we talked about. I'm gonna go ahead if anybody interested in giving their opinion on anything that we talked about so far, man. You could call in. We take a couple phone calls and just call in and we're gonna talk about it. So yeah, man, I do think, like you said, Clayton, the rookie race, I think it's gonna be tight because you got some ballers out there. These kids showing out in this So yeah,
even though it's just summer league, but if it can translate into the regular season, them boys get quality minutes and things of this nature, it's going to be a nice little dude for that.
All 4 of those dudes, AJ DeBasa and Peterson and Boozer and Caleb, they're all in the East.
Yep. All of them. No. Peterson not. He in Utah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Utah. But the other 3 are.
Yeah, the other 3 are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, is Memphis in the East? The Grizzlies?
I think so.
Memphis in the West.
Okay.
They're in the West
all right.
too. So they split 2 and 2. That's all right. That's all. You're going to have 2 battling in the West, 2 battling in the East. Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, that is good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I like the way the NBA was going, the trending. Just from watching Golden, just from watching OKC and watching the Spurs. You know what I mean? Those young teams right there, man, they got a lot of talent, and I like the way they playing. So, and then you got these kids coming in behind them. So that's a good sign for the NBA.
Yep.
So it's a real.
That's what I say, man. If we give it time. If they stop always trying to manufacture things and just let the things develop, something always comes, man. It always comes. And now they got a crop full of young talent in the league.
Yeah.
And you got King Pat building something down there in Miami now, and
we'll see what he did.
Well, I mean, he's trying. He's trying.
Like Voltron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. It's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah, it is.
Our hero fighting. Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about Tyler Hero and what's and Bam fighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, they got into it in Vegas. Was it during the summer league or something?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
What's the name? Said something on his way out, supposedly.
Tyler.
Yeah, he said something on his way out when he got traded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he said or anything like that. Supposedly he said something on his way out the door.
It might have been a situation where, you know what I mean, they've been around each other for years, man. Probably was tired of each other.
Yeah.
And then,
And he might have said,
somebody said something.
He might have said Bam can't shoot. You understand? He might have said, he can't handle the ball. He ain't got no bag. He might have said something like that. You know what I mean?
Or that 83 points was bogus or something like that.
Right. Yeah, he probably said Tyler Hero don't play no defense. You know? So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, let me see what my man Terrence said. He said,
Bam don't play
Bam don't.
defense.
Terrence that boy said Bam don't play defense. I thought Bam he got a reputation of somebody who played pretty good defense though.
I thought Bam played good deep. I thought he played good deep. Tyler
Yeah, I thought he did too.
Yeah, Tyler Hero don't play no deep, but yeah, I think Bam played pretty good deep.
Yeah, but I think Miami is one piece away though. They need one score. He said that's what Tyler said.
That's what Tyler said.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. He said Bam don't play no D. I got it.
Yeah. I guess them's fighting words.
Right. They definitely fighting words now.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that there's rumors that Minnesota's trying to pull Durant into the mix.
Oh yeah.
And so they got a proposal out there that like a 3 or 4 way trade to bring in Kevin Durant, but what they're giving up is Rudy Gobert. So that would be an interesting. I mean, that they're if that's the way that they're heading, that definitely is. Hey, we gotta focus on the offense and let some defense go.
I don't like that.
I'm about to say the same thing, Mike, because the two best teams in the West, they big. OKC and San Antonio. They big. You got to at least be able to match up. You know what I'm saying? You got to at least be able to match up size.
And that's kind of going the wrong way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And see why when people bring in Kevin Durant, either you don't have a big or you don't have a point guard. You know what I mean? Like I would like to see Kevin Durant bring him to a team with some balance. You got the bigs and you got the point guard, and then you keep putting him in a situation whereas though you think his offense he gonna be enough to get you over the hump. Well, he need that help around him.
And the problem is that Minnesota just gave up Naz Reid and Julius Randle to get Melo in.
Right.
And now you want to bring me in? Now what about Kevin Durant to Detroit? Have y'all heard about that?
I heard that too.
I heard that one, but I didn't know what Detroit would have to give up on the other side. But
I heard that one too. But I don't think with Melo in Minnesota, I don't think that's a bad look. You bring Durant in because Melo gonna play your one.
Right, yeah, but I mean, like, who gonna be in the paint though?
It's gonna be
I'm saying it's a bad move to get rid of Rudy. I agree with that, but I'm just saying, as far as them having a point guard, I think Melo is gonna be sufficient enough.
Check this out, Chris. Let me ask you this: you don't think it would be like another, maybe like a Phoenix 2.0? You don't think it'd be like Phoenix 2.0 if Kevin Durant went to Minnesota?
I mean, what you saying? If they get rid of Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, I'm just saying, just adding Kevin Durant.
You just saying with Melo and them?
Yeah.
No, Melo different. Devin Booker can't play the one like that. Like that's just not him.
That's right.
Chris Paul was the thing there, when they made that finals run. Yeah. But with Melo, you can say shoot first all you want, that's fine. But he can facilitate the basketball. He can play the one a lot better. So I think it'd be a better fit. With Durant, especially with them shooters and them snipers, who you gonna guard? I mean, they're gonna space the floor. They're gonna open you up.
Yeah,
that's gonna be to me. That's a great trio with him, Melo, and Ant-Man. But you definitely need a big down there. Yes. You gotta have some size.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even if they let them keep Gobert, it's still like OKC physical. They're big men physical, with the exception of Chet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you got some bodies over there in San Antonio, so it still would have been a stretch. That's why I think,
Well, did you guys see what one game that Rudy Gobert played against Victor Wembanyama? One game he really had a great game against Wemby.
Yeah.
Slowed him down and everything. So, I'm not saying he's going to shut him down completely. But you just need some resistance. You don't need them dominating the boards completely. You need some type of balance. You need something to offset the big on the other side. So in terms of rebounding and stuff like that. So, and then you got to remember, when you got a team that's offensive, potent like that and can score like that, that put a lot of pressure on your team, put a lot of pressure on your legs and your energy and stuff like that. So it's going to take from your offense.
Mike always bring up chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Chemistry thing when you add Kevin Durant to your team, right?
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Durant, it seems he has a propensity wherever he lands, even when he was in Golden State, Kevin Durant has a propensity that I'm the best player, you know what I'm saying, on the floor. Right? But when he goes to Minnesota, he's not that.
Nope.
I'm saying he's not that. You know what I mean? There's no debate. Andy Edwards is the best player on that team. You know what I'm saying? There's no debate. Even if you add a 25-point score and Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Still Andy Edwards. So would that chemistry thing be a would that rear up? No,
but because Ant-Man's mentality, Kevin Durant loved him, and he loved KD. And KD ain't coming to Minnesota causing no. I don't believe he's gonna cause no rift with Ant-Man at all.
I can't see it. I can't
see it.
No, but like this, right? Dan, you probably right. But I'm saying like this, you know what I mean? Facilitating. You got ball, he facilitating, right? And he go to Ant 3 times in a row. And you know, so KD his beef might not be with Ant. It might be with Melo. Motherfucker, give me the ball. You know what I'm saying? You going to.
But that's just going to be such a creative trio.
Yes.
I mean that is not a half court team trio. They are going to be moving, and if you've got Melo, Ant-Man is free to move off ball so much better, and you cannot if you've got KD as the another option, there's just no way that you can effectively stop that. You could try to figure out how to slow it down, but that trio, you cannot stop them.
No, I gotta give a lot of credit, and I got, you know what I'm saying, because what's the name that got me off of KD a whole lot, man, that got me off KD a whole lot, man. I'm telling you, man. I used to be on KD a lot, man, but this last couple stops, man, I've been looking at KD through a different lens, man. So I'm just not as optimistic about if it was to happen. I'm just not as optimistic about it.
But it's all about fit. It's all about fit. If he wasn't a fit there, it doesn't mean he's not a fit someplace else.
Somewhere else. And it's always 2 sides to every situation, Tom. Now they frame it like it's KD. He's the problem, but he ain't the problem by himself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily buy into that all the time.
I don't know if they bring KD in with the thought that he's going to be the difference, and then it turns out to be he's not. Then you ask, well, why isn't he the difference? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think he hurt that Houston team more than he helped them. Şengün kind of like, you know what I mean, regressed when he played with KD this last season. And Şengün was an all-star before that. You know what I mean? He seemed like, you know what I mean, he wasn't getting the shots, but I think that comes more that they didn't have a point guard more than anything. I
think Van Fleet getting hurt helped Houston more than anything.
I think I'm not too optimistic about Kevin Durant. You know, if everywhere I go, the bank get robbed, I can't say they setting me up. You know what I mean? So anytime I move to a different town, the bank getting robbed, I can't say they set me up. You know, and so you got Kevin Durant. He had the same issue. You know, he like Kyrie. When him and Kyrie was tight, they went to the Nets together, right? And then so he went to Phoenix, and that trio was supposed to be something. He went to Houston. Right. You know, he had a little dust up towards the end in Golden State. So after a while, man, you know, I just think that with Kevin Durant having so much experience and being in the league, so I just like his leadership thing to be just, you know, like great basketball players, they get the other guys involved because they know that they can get theirs at any time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to come out as, you know what I mean? You'd be like, I'm going to come out and I'm going to get these, you know, I'm going to get everybody else involved because that works good at the offensive end. And now they motivated to go back down the court and play some defense, right? Because Kevin Durant can get his at any time. So, and that comes with leadership and maturity. You recognize that as a veteran. Who's going to stop Kevin Durant? Like, you know what I mean? So I just.
Everybody's not a leader, man.
Right. Yeah.
And the
You're
one,
right.
and the one thing, when he went to Golden State, they had a leader already. They had leadership there already.
And
Even
that's
though
why
him,
he couldn't tank that situation because they
no,
had.
they had
Yeah.
and even though him and Draymond had a dust up at the end, that was on some personal stuff. I don't think that was basketball stuff.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I don't know. Then Draymond, and if you look at Draymond, he's had a lot of problems with players and stuff. So
Well,
sometimes, man, those egos clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Draymond do be having that stuff with everybody.
Huh?
Yeah, he do. Draymond, he hard to get along with. If your name not Steph Curry, he gonna try you.
Right.
He gonna try you. You gotta wait for him by his card because he definitely gonna try you. But, yeah, man. So look, what about this World Cup, man? Have y'all been following? It's a lot of excitement and about this World Cup. I've been following, here and there, and I'm like,
it's been a blast. It's been a blast. I've been watching most of it, and I'm gonna just come out and say it: the U.S. will never ever have a team that can make it to the semifinals or the finals. I'm just putting that flag in the ground. We do not develop the players like the other nations do, and we gatekeep the development of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the U.S. men's national team develops talent, and the way that the kids are identified, and the structure of the infrastructure of our teams at youth sports level is such a gate kept kind of thing that the only kids that get developed are the suburban kids whose parents pay thousands of dollars a year to be on traveling teams, and that's the only. We do not the U.S. National team does not invest in providing accessibility to every single kid like the other nations do that, because this is a lot of other nations' national sport or one of the top sports, and they let everybody play, they let everybody, and they identify, and that's why you've got kids that develop into youth players, that develop into under 18, that develop into Premier League players, and those guys that are the best are those big guys like that announcer Zlatan Ibrahimovic from Sweden. The guy's like 6'4", and he's a big, fast. You got guys like Erling Haaland from Norway, big, fast. Ronaldo, fast, big. Messi is kind of the antithesis of the prototype, but creative. And where do these kids come from? They come from anywhere and everywhere. And what do we do in the U.S.? We gatekeep, and we only identify the kids that are coming out of these programs that where the parents are paying thousands of dollars a year, and we don't provide access to urban. And what do urban kids do? They love sports, and they run track, and they play football, and they play basketball, and they develop and are successful. But what do we do with soccer? We keep them away.
Let me say this though, Jim, real quick, and you make a great point. But the one thing about urban kids, right? We would play pickup baseball.
Yeah.
We would play pickup football.
Yeah.
We would play pickup basketball. Urban kids, for whatever reason, aren't playing pickup soccer. It's something that we could do, but they're not doing it. You understand what I'm saying? So part of that is that. Now, when we go to public school and in gym, we're taught soccer, but it doesn't stick. It doesn't hold for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so enamored with other sports. You know.
Yeah.
So that's one difference.
I think though,
but
like when we used to play baseball, we used to go and everybody, you know, you get like, you know, you get all the neighborhood kids get together, they play baseball or even football, right? But I think maybe if soccer, you give it a little bit of time, maybe soccer could become, because you have more, like we're seeing it more. And once you start to understand the sport and you start to like it, maybe it could become part of like, you know, like you put those soccer fields and some goals, you know, like even right around Baltimore, like in certain areas, like, you know, certain areas you'll see a soccer field, but not in the city. You know what I mean? On the outside of the city and at different schools, you'll see a soccer field with the 2 goals and stuff. And we know what it is. We just use it for something different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess maybe, I don't know, Kent, do y'all feel like the U.S. can catch up with the world in soccer like the rest of the world caught up with us in basketball?
No. And I'm going to say it no.
Yeah, all right, Jim. Well, I'm going to ask you this, Jim, like, because a lot of people are saying, even though they keep falling out in the round of 16, is it?
Yep.
They keep getting eliminated in the round of 16. A lot of pundits feel like this year, even though they lost in the same round, it feels different. And because you got a lot of dialogue now about the U.S. and not developing it, like the U.S. best player on the world scale, he ain't even that great. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But could this year be the turning point in America where now all of a sudden America starts putting in more resources toward or start doing things a little different to try to get past the round they constantly keep getting eliminated in? What you think?
The national team has to develop the infrastructure to focus on that. And Alexi Lawless said it. He said the quiet part out loud. It's all about money, and he's fine with that. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are, no, we're fine with the way we do things right now.
Yeah. So look.
But the U.S. don't like falling short on a world stage. They don't. Point blank, period.
I think
they got to change within.
What's it? Smart media. So this person right here says that urban kids need a soccer hero to be captured. But I think that's a really good point, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
And so, like, once you have somebody who will capture the sport that represents the urban, just like what Tiger Woods did for golf.
Yeah.
Like we knew of golf, and we understood that golf was the type of sport that was it was exclusive, number one, and then on top of that it was expensive to play. But soccer, in my opinion, like soccer, I think if you put a field up or you put some grass somewhere in the park and kids could put cones up and play soccer.
All you need is a ball and some posts, right?
You know, right? Yeah. So, I think that there's no Michael Jordan in American soccer. I think soccer can be a sport that. Go ahead, Tom. My fault.
Didn't they try to create one with the dude Freddie Adu? Remember, he was like 30.
Yes, they tried. They tried, but he got to the premier teams over in Europe, and he was pretty just mediocre.
Right. I thought he was too small.
And then he was like 36. They were trying to say he was 12. He was like 36.
Yeah.
Hey, he was Gary Coleman. That was Gary Coleman. That wasn't Freddie. Dude, that was Gary Coleman. But
I remember though there was a time, even though he's not American, but Pele used to resonate in the black community for some reason. You know what I'm saying? At one point, but it just didn't take. You know,
and when he was done, I still remember this. When he was done at the highest level, he came to America and played in the American League.
Yes, he did. Yep.
And he made a huge impact on a lot of kids, myself included, in the 70s.
Right. I never knew that. Yeah, I never knew that.
And that's why I think like what this person is in the comments just said, like kids need somebody to look up in that sport. And maybe it's about timing, because I remember Pele from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we didn't have access to, you know what I mean? It wasn't a situation where you could go out on the field. I mean, you just couldn't get a whole bunch of kids to play soccer. because of baseball, basketball, and football. But maybe times are different. You had more Hispanic people moving to this country, so that influence, might be able to push more of the other kids getting involved.
It was that Ken Griffey, he wanted to get a lot of black athletes back playing, young black athletes playing baseball.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to get a lot of, because I think they said they losing them future baseball players. They losing them to other sports. They're using the baseball, football and basketball, some even boxing. They're losing them athletes.
Hey, sorry about that, Sneed. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sneed is coming in with some good input. But I
think this the year though, Jim. I think this the year because it's been talked about so much. I think this the year that's going to create a turning point. It ain't going to happen overnight, but I think at some point, the United States is going to be in the mix.
And here's
go ahead, Jim.
I was just gonna say, here's the disappointing thing in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Who were they marketing? They were marketing Pulisic, and they the Captain America and all that. And who was really helping drive the offense? Malik Tillman.
Okay.
And so he did not get the same amount of attention. I think if you wanted to change the hearts and minds of Americans, you don't just put out the white kid from the suburbs. Right. You get Malik Tillman out there and have both of them in there and I think there's missed opportunities. I think there's a culture of status quo that we got to break, it's hard. It's hard to change the direction of that ship right now.
I think you're right.
Them, is that what you mean by gatekeeping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why I say I think you're right, Jim. But like I said, was somebody going to see the opportunity to break that? Because it was the same thing with golf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had gatekeepers in golf. And then you got club. These what do they call the golf clubs, or what do they call like when you go to
the golf clubs?
You know what I mean? Like it takes so much money to get involved or join a golf club. People, man, people ain't trying to spend no money on that stuff. So, but
Clayton, another reason, man, why I think we're the host country this year. So I think that's why we seeing it a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the host country. I think once that changes, it might go down some. By us being the whole country this year, you might be hearing a lot more about it. You go to the stadiums and see it, things like that.
And don't underestimate, because this World Cup is so popular and so talked about this year, you had a lot of casuals watching now from this country. Don't underestimate that little kid that's watching this shit and get inspired. That's America. Yeah. Don't underestimate that.
Yeah, and so look,
I like that optimism. I want to trust it.
I just know how life works, man. It's like
I was going to say the same thing. I think when people see opportunity like that for money and for change, Sneed brings up a good point too. Women's soccer has heroes and stars, and it's thriving on a global scale, right?
Yep.
Because I know, at least by face, more female women's soccer players than I do the men.
Yeah.
So is what was one lady name? What was her name? Is Megan Rapinoe? Is she American?
Yes.
Yeah, she was American. Yeah.
What about the other lady?
Mia Hamm.
Right. So I know. I know.
And actually, Dennis Rodman's daughter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's what Sneed just said too. Dennis Rodman's daughter is a soccer star. Mia Hamm.
Alexis Morgan, I know her too. Yeah.
Right. So, goalie, right? Wasn't Mia Hamm? Mia Hamm was the goalie years ago. She was like the goalie, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She had those big white gloves.
She was the goalie. Yeah, I remember her.
Was she?
Yeah, she was the goalie.
So who the one that scored that goal and took off their shirt?
I think that was the one I just mentioned. What was her name?
What was her name?
The lady with the short hair.
Carly. Oh, what was her name?
Oh, okay.
Carly. Somebody.
A lot of them did that. I thought Megan Rapinoe did that too, though. Like scored a goal and just ran and slid, and you know, I don't know, but yeah. We are, I think women as soccer players more. You know, I'm more familiar with them than I am the men. I don't know none of the men.
Yeah. But
Like,
you got to remember with women though, and they got a lot of athleticism and stuff. It's easier for them to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like they're gonna play football and you don't have a pro baseball. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real friendly sport for women as well.
I don't know if we could use that excuse though, Clay.
It's not an excuse. I'm just saying why you seeing more women stars. You know, it's a more concentrated thing with them because they don't have a lot of professional options as like men do. That's all I'm saying.
I can see that point. I can see that point. Yeah. And so Sneeze says that Megan Rapinoe dimmed her star with the
personal agenda. Yeah.
And see, that's the thing about
I gotta agree with them with that.
American women in sports, man, it's always going to be, well, I ain't gonna say always, but a lot of it, like when you talk about basketball and you talk about soccer, they do, and not that it's not important, but they do take on a whole bunch of social issues, right? And so that might, like people might not really, they just want to see you play soccer.
One thing I know for sure at some point, hopefully, wisdom is going to teach them that jumping into these political battles is mute because you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have being an activist and all that stuff. It's not real these days. It's not that anymore. It's a brand. It's just, but wisdom will show them more than I can say to them. But
it seems like they have to find a different way to make an impact. You know what I mean?
Because, a lot of them doing it for brand building. To be honest with you.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah, man. Yeah. We already talked about Shakur Stevenson and Shannon Sharp.
You started the show. We came in on that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Shakur he did take him to the woodshed. Yeah.
But, listen, this your wheelhouse, right? But I heard about somebody getting released in the WNBA, right? But I don't know who it was. I think they played for Las Vegas. They say she got released right now. Was she a good player?
Kennedy Carter.
Kennedy Carter.
I know that name, even though I ain't really familiar with WNBA like you guys, right? So what goes on with that, man? Because I be seeing that a lot in the women's game, man, that they be getting released a lot, man. What's going on with that?
I think with Kennedy Carter, man, I just see she's just so polarizing and so outspoken that she put herself in situations where she'll react and she wears though she don't have leverage. This year for Kennedy Carter should have been a year of like redemption and improving herself and just reinventing herself because she's an excellent basketball player.
Outstanding.
She can play, she could play. I don't care if your team is a championship. She could start for any team in the W, right?
Yeah.
She got that kind of talent. And she thinks that talent, like it's based on talent when it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody is, unless, everybody's replaceable. And she didn't understand that.
The knock on Carter has always been she's toxic in the locker room.
And she can't stand to see somebody getting minutes or being on the floor because she knows she's better. She's like, I'm better than that person. And she just can't humble herself and be part of the team and just come in and help. She's got to be, I need these minutes. She said, she said something about AC Fudd. I put her ankle on the floor. Then she said, y'all see me when I'm let off my leash. She just can't stand the idea of not being, celebrated, not getting minutes, not being a starter, she can't stand it because she knows how good she is. And I think there's a little bit of bipolar there going on inside of it.
I just think that she would be a person, she's just she wouldn't be a good politician, right? She and sometimes you play professional sports, there's politics that come with that. Yeah. It's not always like, you know what I mean? Like the best basketball player gets the best of the two gets cream don't always go to the top when they talk about basketball, right? And she don't know how to play the game from a political stance. She better than a lot of people. She gonna let you know she better than a lot of people.
Yes.
And she think that her physical abilities is is enough to elevate her when it's not like that.
Didn't she play for Chicago as well?
Yep, the Sky.
Yes.
Yep. The girl bad though. She bad.
Yeah.
She explosive. It's just a shame, man.
Yeah, she is.
Yep. It's crazy.
I
don't know either.
What my man Sneeze said, sound like she's a bad teammate. Maybe she should explore an individual sport, maybe boxing or MMA, bowling or golf, tennis could work for her. Yeah, that's a good idea, right? If you, and what do y'all think? Even in an individual sport, you still have trainers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you're a boxer and your corner telling you to stick and move, and you want to get in there and you want to mix it up, you still got to listen to somebody.
Yeah, but being a bad teammate doesn't necessarily mean you're uncoachable.
I don't know. She not
explain it, Jim. Expound on it.
I'm just thinking if you are having trouble with the teammate because you're upset with minutes or just the perception that you think you're better than they are or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are anti-authoritarian, right? You're not going to listen to the coach. It may cause the same problems, but just because you're in that box doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% you can't be coached is all I was trying to say.
Together. They mostly tie those two together. If you're a bad teammate, you uncoachable. A lot of times,
and I could see that. But I'm just thinking it struck me that it's not 100%. So maybe you could be coachable, instructable.
Well,
I'll say this:
a diva wide receiver. Like if you have a wide receiver in the NFL and they're a diva, right? And they could be a beast, but at a certain point in time, you disrupt the chemistry of the team. You know what I mean? And you could become if you don't mean to be a cancer or or disrupt the chemistry, because it take a certain amount of sacrifice and a certain amount of willing to work with people that before a team to be successful.
I'll say this to Jim.
For some reason, AJ Brown come to mind when you said
that. I'll say this to Jim's point, right? I think you can think that way and maybe not verbalize it. Because if you're not verbalizing, that means you're coachable. But when you start verbalizing it, you're not coachable. That's just too much. You know what I'm saying?
Look, and I agree with you, Clayton. But think about this too. When you become a part of a program, even though you're not verbalizing, you still gotta buy into that program. You know what I mean? So if your coach has a program, your actions have to show too that you know what I mean. Be like, even though I don't believe, I think I should be out there. And I just listened to Tom Brady just gave I saw a clip of Tom Brady, and he spoke about him complaining when he was at Michigan. I only get 3 reps. When his first 3 years, he complained about I only get 3 reps in it. He said that he spoke to a therapist, and the therapist said, "Look, man, if you stop complaining, if you only getting 3 reps, then you make those 3 reps the best you can make.
Gotta make them the best.
That's it. That's all. That's all you can control. Is take advantage of the opportunity that you get, and then that'll open the door for you." She don't understand that.
No, she don't. I think, I think she has some bipolar things going on inside of her as well. No, I'm not saying that to be funny. No, I just hear. I've heard different interviews, and you can see the energy different. It's just different, So
I think I can see why you say that, because when you speak to her, it sounds like what I mean, like she knowledgeable about the game. She understands team concepts and stuff like that. But then. It's like when you're in the hood, you can sitting on the step talking to a dude. He sound all intelligent. Then as soon as he get up from the step, he go around the corner and you know what I mean, do something he don't have no business. You're like, man, I was just talking to him. What he do? He running down the street. So so it's people like that though, man, who just they talk intelligent, but then then get out there and do something else. Like, man, I'm just sitting here talking to his crazy ass.
Mhm.
Oh, you know.
Oh, boy.
But even that, I wouldn't say they're not intelligent. It's just sometimes it's like they get triggered. Certain emotions get triggered, and that take over. And that
They
take
just
over.
reactive, man, and they, you know,
Mhm.
so I think she understand all that stuff.
And that's where her, boy, if she ain't getting her just due, her emotions take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy.
So,
Yeah, you know the saying, you know what I'm saying? Confidence is what you feel, arrogance is what you say. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you be confident, that's how you feel. But as soon as you start saying certain things, that turns into arrogance. You know what I mean?
yeah. Man. So I don't know, man. Another great conversation, man. I mean, you know, y'all fellas never disappoint. Never disappoint. I appreciate that.
Man, look, it was good to have the crew together, man. It's looking good to have the crew together.
I appreciate my man Sneed in there.
Yeah, definitely, man. You added to the show,
Sneed.
man. Definitely.
Hamzas.
Yeah. That's his name, Hamzas. I always call him Hammers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but that's always good, man. We like the interaction for sure.
Somebody called in though. I
nobody.
was hoping for that. I wanted to hear somebody's voice.
I think it's gonna catch on. I think it's gonna catch on.
It'll catch on. Keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it again next week.
Because I know for sure if Tom would have tuned in, he'd have called that number. Tom would have called that number.
And who's that from Cleveland? Who she always be what's her name? And she's like a Cleveland fan. What's her name?
Retro.
Retro.
Yeah.
She might have called it. She might have.
Yeah, Retro. Yeah.
The guy asking your question, Mike.
Yeah, Sneak. I had the number up there for a few minutes and nobody called, so I took it down. Yeah, but man, just tune in next week, man. We appreciate your input. You know what I mean?
Good input too.
Yeah.
Good
so
insight.
Anytime, man. That's what we all about. You know, like diverse.
We always have good contributions from the chat.
Yeah, no doubt.
All the time.
No.
And next week I'll be celebrating my mom. We're going to brunch, so I won't be in. We're going to brunch at 10:30. So y'all enjoy the show next week.
Yeah, and darn it, I'm in Minnesota next week on my annual fishing trip.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know me, I'm doing that pale American stuff.
Yeah, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with fishing, Jack.
Man, listen, man. I got some, man. Listen, that ain't just pale American. Fishing is.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I hear you though, but that ain't just I got a cousin. I got an uncle, man. That's all. My brother. That's all they live for, man.
Yeah. That you're right. Fishing is a universal kind of thing.
Yeah, that's universal.
Hey, can you consider fishing as a sport?
It is one.
It is.
Yeah, they got fishing competitions. Yeah,
bass fishing. Now here I am going to kind of lean into it a little bit. Bass fishing is very much a pale American sport.
Okay.
Yes. Sneeze say the Caucasians
come on ESPN sometime. I haven't seen it. They used to come on ESPN sometime. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
There's big money in that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've been watching. I watched on ESPN. I watched cornhole. Y'all ever watched that?
No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
On the Ocho.
Yeah, man. I be watching that cornhole.
Don't you play cornhole, Mike?
Yeah, man. My name Airmail.
That's what you told me.
Yeah.
I don't understand the rules of it and the scoring and things like that. I don't even know.
I don't know the like how to keep score, but I'm pretty good though at it. You know.
It's a great backyard game for sure.
Yeah. I got a cornhole board and everything. I break it out. You know, whenever we have some company, I break it out.
It replaced. Well, it didn't replace it, but the shoehorn pitching. Remember how you pitch shoehorns against the state? But now people toss the cornhole.
Horseshoes.
Horseshoes.
I'd rather play cornhole than horseshoes, though.
Okay. Yeah. My father and them, boy, every time we used to go to Gunpowder, boy, they put them stakes in the ground, boy, had any horseshoes.
How you score? You know how you score that stuff? Do you know how you score it?
I don't.
No.
Yeah, I never knew how to score. I was never good at horseshoes either, but
that was my father and them thing, boy.
I think that was that generation, Cleet. I think that was that generation.
It was. It was. Yeah.
You gotta get that clang going.
Yeah.
Clang.
I used to see guys do it, man, but I never understood what I was watching. I didn't know if you had to wrap it around, you know what I'm saying, the stick. I don't know if it just had to touch the stick. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how it worked.
I think close. I think different things represented different point totals. I think.
Yeah. See, that's where you know. Yeah.
But if you get it hooked around the stake, that's the highest score you could get.
I would assume, probably.
Yeah. See, with cornhole, it's simple. You just get you get it on the board or you get it in a circle.
Yeah,
and
3 points if it goes through. 1 point if it's sitting on the board.
On the lip.
So what if you knock one in, Mike? Because I've seen that happen before. Like one is sitting there and then you toss it and both of them go in. What's that?
I think if you knock yours in, you still get the, you know what I mean? You still get the 3.
Anything that goes to the hole, if it's on the throw or if it gets knocked in, if it's in the hole, it's 3 points.
But if one's sitting there and you knock that in,
right,
that's 3 points.
Don't that other person get the point?
Yes, if it's their bag, they get the 3 points.
Oh, okay. Gosh.
Yeah. I hear you, Willie.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate.
You see that, Tom?
I want to know what Willie gonna talk about when LeBron stop playing. When he gonna talk about that? I want to know what he gonna talk about then, right? LeBron, what he gonna talk about?
Oh man,
going out to buy 27 pair of drawers. He gonna go like 27 pair of drawers. It's all good.
Hey, before we go, I need to talk to you guys sometime about my app.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look, what does the app do though? What is it?
So it does basically three things, right? I got it set up to evaluate the upcoming set of games in the NFL, right? And so it creates a probability of who's going to win each game. And I tested my model against like the last 15 years of games. Okay. And in some cases I do better than the Vegas odds. In some cases I do worse than the Vegas odds. The one thing that seems to be consistently good is my model's ability to find the biggest gap between my model and Vegas, and that one team or that one game per week that has the biggest gap seems to be favor my model more. So what that means is if I bet on my model on every single game, I would do just about the same as what Vegas says I would do. Right? Okay. And that's pretty much a break even kind of situation. So
wait a minute, if you keep working on it, you could get better than break even. I mess around and get rich.
That's what I'm looking to do is get my model better and better. Now, the interesting thing is the biggest gap, if on my model, that one game per week that has the biggest gap between what my model says and what Vegas says. If I bet that just that one and not the rest of them, if I bet that one every week, I come out ahead.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that's the one. That's the first thing my app does. The second thing I built in there was, hey, why don't we all just, as self-proclaimed experts, if we also put in our idea of, hey, this is who I think's going to win this week, right? So there's X number of games. We pick the confidence on each of those games. Then we could kind of compare how we do against each other, right? And I built in there an AI model as well. So the AI says, okay, here's who I pick, and then we could see who does better over the season. And that's just kind of a fun thing, right? But what we can do then is see, hey, how do we do against Vegas? And if we're better than Vegas, then we can build that into the model as well. and use that to say, okay, over time, can we outperform Vegas? And if we can outperform Vegas, then there's some opportunity there.
Ain't
Yeah,
no
I'm cool. Yeah, no doubt.
Ain't no question about it.
Hey, I can see us getting kicked out of Vegas like those kids from MIT.
Ain't no question it's an opportunity there. Ain't no question.
I just got my. You guys know me. I'm a weird nerd, and I got to thinking about this the statistics of it and the data modeling, and I'm like, oh, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Sound good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. We gonna try it with football, right?
You're gonna start in the preseason. You want to try a little bit in the preseason, see how it work out.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So sometime I, if you're interested, I can kind of explain what I tried to put into the model, and I tried testing several different things, including things like weather, home, coaches, right? But some of those things were dead ends in that they never showed a bias that would separate from what Vegas was putting out there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but the model that I ended up with, what the interesting thing was, and I tested this. I just ran some computer tests to simulate if I bet on every game based off of my model, how would I end up? And what that told me was you'll end up just about the same as you would if you bet what Vegas says you should bet. And then I switched it around and said, okay, well then what if I just bet on the single game that had the biggest difference between what my model says and what Vegas model says? And that test came back and said, well, you'd make money. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. Let's see how that plays out over this next season.
Yeah. Are you going to actually gamble?
I think I might. You know me, Clayton. I'm kind of iffy on that. I might simulate. Sure. I might simulate and say, okay, if I did, what would the outcome?
Well,
and that's
I
just
think
to
it's
start
a good
out.
idea to start out simulating.
Yeah.
But if I got any kind of inkling that this shit could pay off.
Well, we got to refine the model. We got to refine the model.
Man,
we might be onto something.
It's one factor though, Jim. I don't know if you considered this though, but it's one factor that the gambling houses sometimes they control. They influence things. That's the only variable that.
But they are also kind of bound by how the public sees the game, because
they influence the public.
Sure, because they want to, because that's why they changed the minus and the plus, right? Because they want to move people into a direction where it balances.
Yep. And just whenever I just know sometimes when it's overload. When the general public is overloaded on one thing, it go the other way. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's one thing I know for sure.
Yep. No, well, and that's why I wanted to build in. What I think is important in a game
is what.
What's that?
Let's go ahead and say what you were saying.
No, I was just gonna say that's why I was building in what I think is important in figuring out. What's the percentage? What's the probability this team beats that team, right? And the best I could do over the aggregate was about the same as Vegas. But the outlier was that one game that had the biggest discrepancy seemed to favor me every time. Over a season. What
do you mean by the biggest discrepancy? What do you mean by that?
So I trained the model and said, okay, with what we know right now, week 1 of the upcoming season, figure out what the model says, what my model says, and what Vegas is currently saying. And the biggest discrepancy was the Kansas City Denver game, week 1. And the money right now is saying Kansas City, and it's in Kansas City. My model says Denver, and the difference between those percentages, the confidence, right? So if your confidence is this team's going to win, but my confidence is 51%, or all the way up to 100%, right? So my confidence of my model is like 22% higher on Denver.
So it's what, around 60-some% in favor of Denver, 70-some?
Yeah.
And then Vegas model is like 50-some or something for Kansas City. It's got to be at least more than 50, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So that was the biggest so that's the biggest delta for the first week.
Gotcha.
And so let's say I bet $10 on that game. I may win, I may lose. But what the model said over a whole season is I'm going to win more of those than I lose. And the discrepancy on that model says I'm going to win money.
Gotcha.
So look, let me ask you this. So if we talking about football, right? And if we break it down to if you bet on a team, and like you said, over the course of a season, you're going to win more than you lose, right? Yep. What if we took and we just bet on all the teams, you know what I mean? Like separately, don't combine the bets. It just seems like if you place different bets on all the teams throughout the season, then you know what I mean, you'll win a bigger pie.
No, because if you put $10 down on the favorite, then what the chances are, the average is you're only going to win $6 back. But if you lose 10.
Yeah.
So over time, what happens is the downside is you're going to lose all the money you bet. The upside is you're only going to win a percentage of that money back. And so and so when the odds are that when you lose all the money you bet. When you win, you only win a certain amount of money back, unless it's an underdog and you get it right.
So how is that winning? If I put down 10, how is that winning if I get $6 back?
Well, that's the odds, right? That's the way Vegas. That's the way Vegas always wins. Yeah. What Clayton's saying is they manipulate the odds, and so if you're a minus 160 favorite, what that means is if you put a $10 down, we'll just call it $100. You put $100 down, you only win 60.
Yeah.
But if you're a plus 160, what that means is if I put $100 down, I win 160.
160. That's how it goes. Yep. So that's the thing. You want to find that team, that plus bet, that's the outlier for that week. And cash in. Like, I like your system, Jim, because really, to be honest with you, the gamble, it's not about betting all them games. It's about finding that one game. Yeah. And so for you, Jim, that system, if that shows to be true, that's what I would do. I would bet that. You know what I'm saying? I would do that more than anything else.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to try to test out this season.
Yeah. For me personally, when I used to gamble, I used to always, that heavy favorite that everybody was in on, but I would look inside the numbers. I wouldn't just look at who's the favorite. I would go inside, like those betting houses get an account, and they'll actually show you where the money is, the percentages. And if I ever seen something that was like 90-something% on the favorite and stuff like that, I would always take that underdog. That's how I used to do it. Yeah. So, but
that's what I was trying to do with the numbers and we'll see how it works. But if we all kind of put our heads together and get our own throw in our own predictions and confidence, there may be some numbers there that we could leverage to improve the model.
Yeah, I feel you.
Be an interesting experiment.
Good talking to y'all, man. Great show.
Yep.
I'll see y'all next time, man.
All right, man. I'll see y'all in a few
All
weeks. Y'all enjoy y'all day, man. Good stuff.
Have a good one.
right, fellas. Appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all next week.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Sound tired.
I just want to say I appreciate everybody who tuned in and participated. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, tune in next Sunday at 11 a.m. We'll be here. I think next weekend, we're going to go back and try to take some calls, so if anybody want to come on the show and participate that way, you're more than welcome to. So, like I said, appreciate y'all, and we'll check y'all out next weekend. Peace.